Mr. Speaker, I find myself in a really unsettling place because I'm totally against pornography or obscene materials in the hands of little people, or really in anybody's hands. But I'm not able to accept the fix that 314 provides. As I read through, I looked at A in the description, I thought, yeah, shouldn't happen. B, shouldn't happen. And then, Mr. Speaker, I got to C, any harmful material. That phrase then becomes in the eye of the beholder and up for considerable debate, I think even in the eyes of people of faith. I think about when I was in a school district and the Harry Potter books came out, and we had a parent who just thought they were horrible. They had mythical beasts, talking animals, and magic. And she just insisted that they be banned from the shelves. Well, then the flip to that, Mr. Speaker, is the Chronicles of Narnia. Mythical creatures, talking animals, magic. So who decides? And in House Ed, what's been said many times is that we should defer to the duly elected officials closest to the level of the issue. You know, the federal government came up with a deal that they were going to have ministers, preachers, they had to turn in their sermons so that they could decide whether or not they were talking political issues, and if so, would deny their nonprofit status. I didn't think that was right. That was an overreach. But I also think it's an overreach for the state to step in when you have, is my time up? You may wish, because it's lunchtime and I get that, but I rarely get up here and rail on, but I'm just going to beg your indulgence.
Good lady, continue. I don't know where that came from, but you can continue as long as you want.
Well, I promise I won't go for as long as anybody wants, but this could potentially put school districts and public libraries into continual litigation. And somebody says, well, aren't our kids worth more than money? Oh, absolutely. You'll never hear me argue that it's just the money. But I want you to think about Meridian City Council. They are right now determining whether or not they are going to dissolve the Meridian Public Schools or Public Library. Those are the people who are elected to represent the citizens of Meridian, and that's where it should be decided. They were elected to represent them. Then I want you to think about Nampa School District. They had a turnover of 3 specific board members, and they immediately banned about 25 books. And then there was such an outcry from the patrons of that district that they determined that they needed to think about a policy for selecting books, and then a policy for when somebody isn't happy with a book and what should happen, and then what is the redress if they don't agree with the principal or they don't agree with the board. And that's in process right now. And I would say that's how local control works, and we should let it. To me, the bathroom bill was different. The bathroom bill was the reason that the Idaho School Boards Association came up with that model policy.
Good lady, would you like to ask unanimous consent to speak about?
I would certainly like to talk about other legislation if I might.
Unanimous consent has been requested to refer to another piece of legislation. Is there objection? Hearing none, the good lady may refer to the
I
other
appreciate
piece of
that indulgence as well. Thank you. That, to me, was different because the Idaho School Board Associations put together a policy based on what they were seeing across the United States. And that policy was not in keeping with what a lot of school districts wanted to do. So they asked, we had superintendents, we had school boards come to House Ed, Senate Ed, and they asked for a policy from the state to assist them. And that made sense to us. And we passed that through. even though some of us didn't like the right to private action. We were asked for that for the protection of children at the direct request of people in the schools who normally would make that decision. The last thing that I would say about this is that as a firm supporter of the Second Amendment and someone who's been really concerned about even red flag laws that look good on the surface but actually strike at the heart of our Second Amendment right to bear and keep arms, to me, this bill is a red flag to our First Amendment and to the right for parents to parent. So I would just ask that you consider that someone could be totally in favor of not having pornography and obscenity in the hands of little people, but be totally not in favor of how this bill proposes to fix it. And I would respectfully ask for your red light.
Further motions, further debate on the motion.